Arrests and the defense takes over at the burglary trial of Senator Nicole Mitchell in Detroit Lakes.
An arrest is made after a threatening phone call caused Essentia Health in Fargo to go into lockdown mode this morning.
And this is just a great opportunity to show off our technology and see technology from other folks as well.
A field day at Grand Farm with nitrogen the main topic of discussion.
Live, KVRR Local News at 6 is on right now.
Carol? Yeah? It's Nicole. It's Nicole? I was just trying to get a couple of my dad's things because he wouldn't talk to me anymore.
She also stole documents out of the house. She's my stepdaughter.
I didn't steal any documents.
Good evening. That is body camera video from the night Senator Nicole Mitchell was arrested inside her stepmother's home in Detroit Lakes.
As KVRR's Juliana Plaza reports, the defense now has the burglary case.
It's day 2 of testimony, and the prosecution has rested its case. A police officer tested that the victim, Carol Mitchell, had questions about what Nicole Mitchell had intended to do.
She was very concerned that Nicole's purpose wasn't there to necessarily get items. She was more concerned possibly that Nicole might be trying to end Carol's life.
Officer Vic Mark interviewed Carol Mitchell on April 25th, 2024, a couple days after the burglary occurred. At the time, Mitchell was not living at her residence, as she had stated the day before. Carol's niece and power of attorney had been in contact with her and shared concerns of the strained relationship between her and Nicole.
I don't care if she gets that CD of Rod's, and there are 2 checks from Rod's sister's Lori that passed away from her estate. Nick can have them, but the house and everything else is mine, and she will have to wait till I die for anything from that. But I am scared. She has gotten so greedy.
The first witness for the defense was Jonathan Keel, the son of Carol Mitchell. Keel originally was a prosecution witness, but was never called to the stand. Keel had spoken with Nicole through text, where she shared her concerns about Carol's health.
She's very functional, and the Alzheimer's is there. It was slowly progressing, but if there's trauma, there was like the death of Rod was a huge hit. And then you see the short-term memory it's so difficult for her to.
Juliana Plaza, KVRR Local News.
Court will resume at 9 a.m. on Thursday.
Fargo police arrest 57-year-old Jerome Lampley of Moorhead for making a threatening phone call to Essentia Health, causing a 4-hour lockdown. Lampley was arrested for terrorizing. He was taken to the Clay County Jail. In a press release, an Essentia spokesperson says the campus was placed into lockdown after the threatening phone call early this morning out of an abundance of caution. Scheduled patient visits were postponed until noon when the lockdown was lifted.
Another man has been sentenced for his part in a beating that left a man severely injured in downtown Fargo in April 2024. In a plea deal, 27-year-old Ezekiel Hernandez pleaded guilty to 2 counts of aggravated assault and had charges of robbery and accomplice to aggravated assault dropped. He also pleaded guilty to aggravated assault for an incident at Old Broadway last month. Hernandez was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Sam Picula was beaten by Hernandez and 5 others after he tried to break up a fight on MP Avenue west of Broadway. He suffered broken bones in his face and needed a titanium plate in his forehead. 3 others have been sentenced. 1 is awaiting sentencing, and a 6th person goes on trial later this year. Well, to weather now, it hasn't exactly felt like some July weather out there, but a little bit on the more cool side.
It has been chilly. Chief Meteorologist Max Mueller in with our first forecast. When is summer going to return, Max? That's my question.
Well, it's going to have to wait a little bit longer before those real summer-like temperatures start to return. We have been seeing certainly a very chilly afternoon, 67 here into Fargo. All we've gotten to for a high 68 in a Grand Forks. The one area that has reached a low of just barely, or a high rather, of just barely getting to 70. Fergus Falls at 70 degrees, 69 into Sisseton, South Dakota, 68 into Wahpeton. So plenty of some cool weather and some gray, kind of gloomy skies as well through much of the region. Those clouds maybe starting to break up a little bit more, especially into areas further to the north and to the west. Starting to see a little bit more of that blue sky starting to peek through, and we are going to be seeing some clearer skies as we get into the overnight hours, and especially for our day tomorrow. Already starting to see those clearer conditions out towards Jamestown, towards Carrington, towards Devil's Lake. Langdon starting to see a lot more of that sunshine. A couple areas of some raindrops still into areas around Fergus Falls. We have been seeing some very light raindrops into Fargo and Moorhead as well. But some very comfortable weather. Still maybe not quite summer-like conditions for our day tomorrow, but it's still going to be feeling very nice for our Thursday. By the weekend, it looks like we're going to be seeing those 80s returning. I'll have more on that coming up in my forecast in just a bit.
A small fire forced the evacuation of residents at the Hoagie Estates apartments in Dilworth. Police Chief Hunter Rawson says the fire was quickly extinguished. There were no injuries. People living there were safely evacuated. Responders on scene say it appears the fire started in a bathroom ventilation fan and spread to the attic.
We checked for extensions on both sides of the apartment and then the attic. It basically went straight up the exhaust tube and out the roof. So that was fortunate, and it didn't extend into either side or into the hallway.
Authorities say that one tenant will be displaced.
Walsh County Sheriff Ron Jurgens says that the county will use the sales tax that passed during a special election in May for a new jail. Voters approved a 0.75% sales tax, but rejected a $20 million property tax increase. Both needed to pass for the project to move forward, but Walsh County Commission voted 3-2 to approve using the sales tax to help pay for the new building. Jurgens says that it is a scaled-down version of the original plan, but they will still be able to build a 46-bed jail at a cost of approximately $25 million. They currently use just 16 cells due to dozens of problems with the 50-year-old building. Construction is scheduled to begin next year. Farmers in the region now have access to a scientific breakthrough that could help them massively boost their productivity.
KVRR's Gabriel Oster reports from Grand Farm in Castleton.
It was a field day, literally, at Grand Farm's Innovation Campus in Wheatland on July 16. The agriculture company Pivot Bio unveiled proven G3, which are gene-edited nitrogen-fixing microbes. That may sound complicated, and it is, but the way it is beneficial to crops is relatively simple. Naturally occurring microbes in the soil will stop producing their own nitrogen when they sense it's being applied by an outside source, like fertilizer.
They found a way to gene-edit those microbes so that they're, for lack of a better term, unaware that we're applying copious amounts of nitrogen to the soil. So they keep running the factory, they keep producing nitrogen.
Some of the fields here at the Grand Farm Innovation Campus have seen the application of those gene-edited nitrogen-fixing microbes, and that is where these tours are taking place, letting farmers know how those microbes can benefit their farming operations.
It's a very seamless application. They're planting the same way they'd normally plant, but making sure we've got a dose of those gene-edited microbes there.
Pivot Bio took anyone interested to the trial plots, showing them performance data and explaining how this could significantly increase farmers' yield while keeping the soil healthier at the same time.
Giving the growers something to help manage and buffer that nutritive stress that the plant goes through throughout the year, whether it be caused by weather, whether it be caused by performance issues with lighting or soil quality or anything like that.
They say it's been a long time in development, but they're excited to see proven G3's impact on a larger scale.
We're a very collaborative company. We want to cross-pollinate ideas, work with whoever is willing to work with us.
And to continue finding ways to help farmers increase their productivity. In Wheatland, Gabriel Osler, KVRR Local News.
They also had tours of the Grand Farm campus.
Well, we have an update on Folkway's request to close downtown streets for a world record attempt.
The organization plans to break the world record for most s'mores eaten at the same time at their night bazaar on July 24th. They hope to have over 1,200 people in the Broadway Square area, so they submitted 3 separate street closure requests to ensure participants' safety, but those were denied. Folkways now says they've made progress in discussions and expect an amended plan to pass.
Given the timeline, the prior communication with the city, staff had indicated they were not going to support our closure of Broadway, and that is what the commission voted on last Monday. Since that meeting, there's been a lot of really wonderful community support, and I think a thoughtful pause by the commission, and I've been in touch with Commissioner Kolpak, and I do believe that she's going to bring forth an amended motion for approval of closing one block of Broadway.
And the big event is scheduled for 6 p.m. on July 24th. When we come back in 60 seconds, Governor Armstrong heads back to Capitol Hill to testify about streamlining infrastructure regulations.
People continue to flee their homes in Canada as wildfires rage on.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
North Dakota Governor Kelly Armstrong is in Washington, D.C., testifying before Congress about funding for transportation infrastructure. He testified before the U.S. Senate Committee on Environment and Public Works. Armstrong was there on behalf of the National Governors Association and says that states should have more flexibility on how they spend federal dollars on infrastructure. Armstrong also says that the permitting and regulatory processes for new projects needs to be streamlined to reduce delays and costs.
None of this works without streamlining permitting, and I think roads are the perfect example. You don't have to stop linear infrastructure everywhere. You only have to stop at one spot. I mean, if there's a road from Ohio to North Dakota, they can stop it anywhere. They can stop at Minnesota, they can stop at North Dakota, they can stop it in Ohio, they can stop it in Indiana.
Armstrong spent 6 years in the House of Representatives before being elected governor of North Dakota last November. More than 120 active wildfires are still burning in Manitoba.
The flames have forced thousands of people from their homes. Many are now finding refuge in Winnipeg, as Alex Carper reports.
A plane load of evacuees arrived in Winnipeg as wildfires continue to threaten their homes in northern Manitoba.
With a family man like me, yes, there's big stress. My luggages.
Michael McDougall and his family left their home in Garden Hill First Nation over the weekend.
It does suck to be here, but this is what we're given, and we gotta make the best of it, you know. So yeah, it sucks staying here, but I know there's a lot of communities that are in trouble the same as us.
Other communities near Garden Hill, like Wassagamak First Nation and St. Teresa Point in the province's northeast, are nervously watching as fires continue to inch closer. The chief of Wassagamak says his community is evacuating at-risk patients.
Right now, we're just boarding the plane. As you can see, there's people on plane right now.
And the province is preparing to house more evacuees as the situation worsens.
The government of Manitoba and Indigenous Services and the Canadian Red Cross are planning to be able to receive even more people in the south as the fire risk is still strong and people need to move to safety.
As many flee south, hundreds of firefighters remain on the front lines. 20 firefighters from Mexico have joined the firefight near Thompson, which is the largest city in northern Manitoba. They are among the some 250 international firefighters here in the province. Thompson Mayor Colleen Smook is grateful for the support from around the world.
Our New Zealanders, they're on the way, 40 of them, and they'll be dispersed to the fire south of us.
As for McDougall, he hopes to go back to his community and is praying his home will still be there.
Still ahead, the annual Ag Views Live seminar will tackle the president's tariffs and the impact on farmers.
After the cooler weather, the skies will be clearing overnight and leading to a very nice Thursday. I'll have more on that in my forecast right after this break. Not just some cool weather into the afternoon, it was also a chillier start to the day, especially into areas a little further to the north. Those temperatures starting off into the 40s up into parts of northern Minnesota and North Dakota as well. 46 in Langdon, 48 in Grafton, 48 as well into Halleck, 46 into Roseau, 50 into Warroad, 50 as well into Grand Forks, 55 here this morning into Fargo, and those temperatures a little bit closer into the upper 50s and closer to 60 as you head a little further to the south and to the east into Minnesota. So some areas not quite seeing quite the cool down overnight and early this morning, but we are going to be seeing some cool temperatures once again tonight, especially with some skies starting to clear up into a good portion of North Dakota. From central to eastern North Dakota, some areas really starting to see a little bit more of some clearer skies. And you see that area of some rain that has been moving its way through. We have seen just a couple of some drops into the FM Metro, the bulk of that kind of staying in a far southeastern North Dakota. And now still a couple of some raindrops kind of around Fergus Falls along I-94 and maybe a little further to the east of Fergus. But for the most part, it should continue to be a pretty quiet night going forward. We're expecting those skies to be clearing up as this system continues to kind of work its way further to the east on Futurecast. Already seeing plenty of some clearer skies towards Devil's Lake, towards Jamestown, even Maybe Grand Forks starting to see things clearing up just a little bit more, but not quite the case here in Fargo. Some areas of some blue sky trying to break through into the FM metro. Still some chances of some showers as the night goes on, but through really kind of from sunset onward, we do see some much clearer conditions. And by about 6 tomorrow morning, starting off our Thursday with some extremely clear skies. And that's what we're expecting for much of the day. Scattered clouds here or there, but a very sunny afternoon. It should be a very comfortable afternoon as well, with those temperatures staying into the mid 70s or so. Those winds not expected to be all that strong. And you do see by the evening hours a couple areas of some clouds out further to the west. We are not really going to be seeing anything associated with those until we get into early Friday morning. Those clouds moving in. Here comes another round of some rain, even a little bit of some thunderstorms further to the south of the South Dakota border. This line of some rain could be turning into possibly a little bit of some kind of weak thunderstorms. Certainly some rumbles of thunder associated with this could be possible, but not really expecting anything more than that. We're certainly not expecting any real chances of severe weather for our Friday. 67, 55, the numbers into the FM Metro today. 68, 50 in a Grand Forks. No precipitation today into either city. 47 tonight here in Fargo. 48 Grand Forks, Grafton. 49 into Jamestown. 48 in Thief River Falls. So plenty of some cool weather with those skies clearing out and those winds very calm overnight. 75 here into Fargo. 408 tomorrow. 73 into Grand Forks. 69 only into Jamestown, 70 into Devil's Lake, 69 as well into Langdon, 70 into Roseau and Thief River Falls. But all around, it should be a very comfortable day for our Thursday. KVRR Weather Authority 7-day forecast. Those clouds returning with some chances of some rain for our Friday, high of 74. 78 Saturday, 81 on Sunday. Both days for the weekend looking like they're going to be pretty darn nice. 83 by Monday. More clouds. Yet again, more chances, maybe some rain, some thunderstorms, and staying into the 80s into the middle part of next week as well.
Just can't shake that rain, can we?
No.
It just continues to fall, whether we like it or not.
That's for sure.
All right. Thanks, Max. Bankers who work in agricultural finance say that President Trump's tariffs are costing major support among farmers in what used to be solidly Trump country.
That's the word ahead of the annual Ag Views Live seminar by Bell Bank. There is uncertainty over federal farm programs and tariffs. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is also linking some practices by farmers to America's obesity problem and pushing back against pesticide use. Experts say it's souring a substantial number of farmers on Trump after they helped put him back in the White House.
I think, the Trump administration probably has to push a reset button and say, who really supported me? Because I think he's really running out of political and reputation capital on the farm side, right? Because it's like, like you said, the MAHA in this area for the sugar producers, and to say sugar is poison, we're going to take that off the table. And quite frankly, a lot of producers are saying this isn't what we voted for.
For the full interview and more info on the seminar, check out KVRR's Morning Show page.
I'm Michelle Rook with today's Ag Day Minute. You could soon be paying more for tomatoes at the grocery store. The U.S. has announced it's putting a tariff of about 17% on Mexican tomato imports. It comes after the Department of Commerce announced it was withdrawing from an agreement that suspended an anti-dumping investigation involving fresh tomatoes from Mexico. The agreement had allowed Mexican producers to export tomatoes without paying anti-dumping duties. A recent report by Arizona State University said ending the agreement would increase the price of all tomatoes in the U.S. Texas's Attorney General said he has begun investigating candy maker Mars for its alleged refusal to remove synthetic food dyes from its products. Ken Paxton saying in a statement he issued a civil investigative demand for documents from Mars. He claims the company, known for M&Ms and Skittles, has not fulfilled its 2016 pledge to remove all artificial colors from its food products. And here's your chance to honor a favorite farmer in your community. Culver's is launching its annual Two Farmers with a Love contest. It's inviting guests to nominate a farmer making a meaningful impact in their community. The winner will attend a Tim McGraw concert at the Field of Dreams movie site or the Velocity Music Festival in Dyersville, Iowa. The contest runs through August 1st. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on this station or get updates at agweb.com.
The Minnesota Lynx continue to roll on. We'll have the highlights next in sports.
Welcome back, folks. Aaron Walling in with your look at sports. Over at the Target Center, the Minnesota Lynx continue to hold a lead in the Western Conference. Sitting at 19-4, they welcome in the Phoenix Mercury, who are behind them at 15-6. In the third, Lynx up by 10 on a 7-0 run. Bridget Carlton to Caleb McBride. Back to Carlton for 3. Got it. Minnesota up by 13. Time winding down in the third. V. Collier from the wing and splash. The Lynx back up by 13. In the third, Natisha Heidemann with the ball, drives left, goes around, shoot, won't go. Jessica Shepard with a tip-in buzzer beater. Minnesota up by 15 at the break. And the Lynx rolled to a 79-66 win over the Mercury. Minnesota was led by Kayla McBride, who had 18 points, while the Lynx shot 43.5% from downtown. They get a nice little break before they head to Chicago next Tuesday at home. Down in Las Vegas, one of TJ's favorite towns, the Minnesota Timberwolves are 3-0 in the Summer League, taking on the 1-2 Phoenix Suns at the Cox Pavilion. Early in the first, T-Wolves down by 8. Amari Bailey gets the ball on the wing, drives and hits the smooth baseline jumper. 6-point game. Late in the opening frame, down by 10, Minnesota struggling for answers, but the steal leads to a bucket for Bailey, who lays it in. In the second, down by 14. Seems like a daily occurrence for the Frenchman. Joanne Berenger rises up for the alley-oop slam to cut into the deficit. And Minnesota to win 89-85 over the Suns to improve to 4-0 in the Summer League. Rob Dillingham led the way with 23 points and 7 assists, while Leonard Miller got a double-double of 22 points and 11 rebounds. Coming up at 9, the Redhawks look for their third straight win, while Fargo Post 2 hosts Jamestown for a doubleheader.
Thanks, Aaron. Before we go, an ancient relic stolen during World War II finally returned.
And Max returns with one final look at our weather.
This is an erotic mosaic that was stolen by a Nazi captain from Pompeii during World War II. It's finally been returned. It depicts a man reclining on a couch with a scantily clad woman standing by his side. Well, the Pompeii Archaeological Park says it may have been used to decorate a bedroom floor in a Roman villa. Park officials believe it's from a time between 1st century BC and 1st century AD. It will now be on temporary display at a museum in Pompeii. That was scandalous back in the day.
I guess so.
Wow.
It's got a different look to it.
It does, yeah. It's back.
Chop that under the things I didn't expect to see today.
There you go.
Or hear him talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's certainly up there on that list. Well, some much, much clearer skies out further to the west. Doesn't exactly equate to warmer weather right now into Carrington, but you see a lot of those very blue skies over areas a little further to the west of the Red River Valley. 64 sunny skies into Carrington at the moment. Not quite the case, but you're starting to see some of those blue skies returning into Fargo, and those skies are going to continue to clear up quickly as the night goes on. Those temperatures also expected to be fairly chilly as the night goes on. By the morning hours tomorrow, expecting lows down into the 40s. Ooh,
that's crisp.
Yeah, shivering just thinking.
Yikes. All right, thanks for being with us. Stick around for Young Sheldon, Master Chef, and Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service.
And then join us again later tonight at 9. Have a good night.